I want to welcome everyone to our September 17, 2019 Daviess County Fiscal Court meeting. Commissioner Wathen, would you lead us in a prayer and pledge?
Yes. Dear God, our Father, thank you for all the blessings that you have given this great country. We ask that you protect our military, our police, and our firemen. Please bless all of our county employees and their families. We ask that you intervene to stop the destruction of our families throughout our country. As always, we ask that you help the members of this court to make good decisions that will be good for all the citizens of Daviess County. We pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner, and once again I want to welcome everyone to our September 17, 2019 Fiscal Court meeting. Jenny, are you ready?
I am. Consideration for presentation, A, recognition of Julius Maddox for bench pressing 739.6 pounds to become the new world record holder.
Well, if you don't know and can't tell who the world record holder is, Mr. Maddox, would you come to the, yeah, John? I mean, we had prepared this evening a short video clip showing you doing the lift, but what was even more amazing was when you finished, and we couldn't get it to work, or whatever. It was too big a piece to fit on our screen. The amazing thing was you set the record, and that was huge. And I'm going, Owensboro and Daviess County, yeah. But then four guys? They had four guys, two on each side of you, and they about took your head off because they started to drop the weight. There was four of them trying to hold up the weight that you had just pushed up and over your head. It's amazing to have a world record holder, number one, and number two, wasn't even on my radar that we had anyone in this community who was doing that type of sport in weightlifting. So if you don't mind, just take a few seconds and tell us what it was like.
It was probably one of the best things that's happened to me since I've been lifting. Most of you, some of you guys know I'm a coordinator at Friends of Sinners, and I work with men and women who struggle with addiction. I, at one point, struggled with addiction too, and I went to Friends of Sinners, and I went through the program, graduated. And in that, and actually it's Judge Caslin's old home that we actually are at Friends of Sinners, but in that basement is where I found, my love for the sport. And over the past 5 years, I trained in and out there at Friends of Sinners and eventually moving on to a normal gym. But 2 weeks ago, that lift not only represented the hard work that I put in, but it is also a platform for me to be able to use because I have a heart for the kids that were just like me growing up. So I use this to be able to go to schools and talk about the consequences of abusing drugs. And it has also given me the position to be able to be a character coach at Owensboro High School. So I love competing, I love the sport, but I love my community more, and I want to stand for something because at one point I destroyed my community and I polluted my community. And 7 years ago, I took a vow to stand up and do what I need to do for my community, and not only on a state level, but a national level and a world level also. So I feel my purpose is to inspire the world.
Well, on behalf of all the citizens in Daviess County and Owensboro, thank you, because you certainly are a testament to what you can do when you take power over those things that you were talking about, the things that had you under their sway, and you've beaten that, and you certainly are a testimony, and you're just a fine citizen to stand there and be able to talk to us about those kinds of things. Commissioners, I would like to go down and have our picture taken with you, if you don't mind. Now, just a challenge. If you are able to put myself and this commissioner under one arm and these two under the other, you will have set a new world record.
Okay, well, let's do it. Let's do it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm coming.
Mike, if you just stay there, he can reach over.
As long as he doesn't left me, I might be okay. I'd like to say too, thank you for all that you're doing.
I appreciate you guys for recognizing me.
Now, do you have any other plans to set another record?
Yeah, so it's funny because they're making this big plot.
Let's go over here. I can hear Rodney saying, getting to the whatever. Yeah.
So we are currently, next year I'm going for an 800-pound bench press. Yeah, I know it's crazy. It still blows my mind. I still look at that video and think, that's me doing that. But I'm going for an 800-pound bench press, and the former world record holder is from Russia, and he's a Goliath of a guy. So they're putting me and him kind of like against each other, like it's trying to create this plot or whatever, however you want to call it, or whatever you want to call it. So yes, I'm going for an 800-pound bench press, and again, it's just a platform, and it's a key for me to go different places that I never would have had before, and share the gospel and share my testimony of how, you know, my life is totally different, and that you can be redeemed and you can come back from a bad situation and live a different life, especially considering everything that's going on in our city. So it's an honor to be recognized by you all, and I really appreciate it.
Well, let me suggest when you go for 800 pounds, get 6 spotters instead of 4.
Oh yeah, well the guy kind of celebrated before I did is what happened. So he celebrated and forgot to help me rack the weight in, and then the weight shifted and fell. So
All right.
again, I thank you guys.
All right, everybody.
Is that?
Julius, you don't have to stay through the rest of this unless you want to toss around a commissioner or two. All right.
He doesn't.
All right.
He doesn't
Thank
do
you.
anything he doesn't want to do.
Whatever he wants, Commissioner, whatever he wants. Next item.
B, proclaim Health and Well-Being Day as September 28, 2019, and Constitution Week, September 17 through 23, 2019.
Commissioner Wathen, I think you have that proclamation.
I do. Whereas established in 1999, Daviess County's health coalition, Healthy Horizons, was created to improve community health. And whereas is the mission of Health Horizons to know and understand the community's health needs and to address them through evidence-based practices. And whereas access to health care, healthy foods, and safe activities, regardless of the socioeconomic status, are our community and health priorities, as well as meeting the needs of the mentally ill and those caring for them, and prevention and treatment for substance abuse. And whereas the focus for improving our community health is done in collaboration with committee volunteers and invested community partners. And now, therefore, Daviess County Judge Executive Al Mangley, in celebration of this, the 20th anniversary of the Health Horizon, does hereby proclaim September 28th, 2019 as Health and Well-Being Day.
Carolyn Ferber is here. If you would, first, let's do this. If you want to say a few words, do that, and then we're going to have you come up on the bench so that Commissioner Colbert doesn't have to go down, and we will present that to you as, okay? So,
Yeah.
you're on.
Well, thank you very much, Commissioners and Judge Mangley, for your proclamation. Healthy Horizons has been a local health coalition for the past 20 years in efforts to work diligently on improving the health of our community through the collaboration of other nonprofit organizations and health organizations in town. So we appreciate your acknowledgement and your enthusiasm for our mission on our 20th year anniversary, and it's greatly appreciated.
Okay. That's some kind of world record, isn't it? 20 years? Who
We're going to
knows?
say it is.
Well, now that Julius is gone, we'll say it's a good record. Come on up. We'll stand over here, let you make the presentation, Mike, and that way they can get a picture of us, and Mike doesn't have to go down. Here, I'll get over here. You get in the middle.
Thank you.
You get in the middle.
Thank you.
There you go.
There you are. Yeah, let's do this. Yep. All right.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's good seeing you.
Thank you.
Mr. Caslen, do you want to do the one on the Constitution League?
I'll be glad to.
Okay.
Whereas today marks
Green light means go, red light means stop.
whereas today marks the 232nd anniversary of the drafting of the United States Constitution by the Constitutional Convention. And whereas it is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to this magnificent document and its memorable anniversary, and to the patriotic celebrations which will commemorate the occasion, now therefore in Daviess County Judge Executive Al Mattingly does hereby proclaim September 17 through 23, 2019 as Constitution Week, and ask all citizens to reaffirm the ideals of the framers of the Constitution that they had in 1787 by vigilantly protecting the freedoms guaranteed to all through this guardian of our liberties, remembering that lost rights may never be regained. Presented this in Daviess County, Kentucky, the 17th day of September 2019.
And I think Mary Coombs is here to accept. We're going to do the same. If you would go over, if you want to say a few words, then come up. We'll present you with a certificate and get a picture taken.
Thank you so much, Judge Executive and County Commissioners, for this proclamation. I am representing the General Evans Shelby chapter of the Kentucky Daughters of the Kentucky Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution, and you may wonder why I am representing the Daughters of the American Revolution, and it's because in 1955, the National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution petitioned Congress to celebrate the Constitution September the 17th through the 23rd. So we can take credit for that, the Daughters of the American Revolution. And then in 1956, Dwight D. Eisenhower signed it into being. So the Daughters of the American Revolution, some of you may not even know we have a chapter here in Owensboro, but it's called the General Evans Shelby chapter. And if any of you are interested in membership, we're always looking for members. After I retired from teaching, I decided to study and do some genealogical research, and it became like a scavenger hunt, and I enjoyed it so much, and I thought, well, I'll have a goal. I will try to join the Daughters of the American Revolution, and it is, I found out a lot that the Daughters do to promote the Constitution, the military, and it's not just a social club, it's a service club. So we really appreciate the honor that you've given us by giving us this proclamation.
Okay, why don't you come on up? We'll make the formal presentation and get a picture taken.
let's move on forward.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Jenny, you ready to move on? And anyone that was here for proclamation, don't feel like you got to stay. If you want to get up and leave, I would advise it, but you're welcome to do whatever you want. Yeah, Jacob, I saw that move back there, boy. Didn't apply to you.
See Treasurer's Report for August 2019.
Mr. Hendricks,
Cash at August 31st was $32,914,917. The general fund is $10,873,050. We're just 2 months into a new year, but all activity's been within the expected range. I will update the court. You had authorized me several months ago to call the Recovery Zone Economic Development Bond early. We did that, paid that bond off on August 1st. So that $980,000 bond, it was done. One of the two bond issues that financed the convention center has been called. So
okay. We're still on track to accumulate enough funds to probably pay the other off by the 2022, we're thinking?
2022, 2023, yes.
Okay. Which is 6 to 7 years early.
We knocked 6 years off the term when we refinance, and we'll probably knock it. If it continues to grow at the rate it has grown, we'll knock another two complete years off, yes.
And once we have accumulated enough, while the bonds are not, we can't call them early, once we've accumulated enough money in that bond fund, then the insurance tax rate will go from 8.9 back to 4.9.
That's correct.
Yep, it's sunset. So that's good news. It's going to be a birthday present for the county here in a couple of years. Any question or comment, commissioners? Question or comment by the public? Then this report is on file in the clerk's office. Anyone is welcome to come and look at it, and she'll answer all your questions, won't you?
Yes, sir.
All right, next item.
2, consideration for approval, A, minutes of the September 5th, 2019 court meeting.
Move to approve.
I have a motion second. Commissioners, you've all had a copy of the minutes in your possession for some time. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries.
B, all claims for all departments.
Motion approved. Second.
I have a motion second. Again, Commissioners, you've all had a copy of the bills due and payable by Daviess County Fiscal Court in your possession for some time. Any questions of the treasurer? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed, motion carries.
C, contract with Inspection, Testing, and Maintenance Incorporated for fire hydrant testing.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion second. Commissioners, this is probably deja vu for us because we passed this once before, but we had the wrong pricing. We had the pricing from several years ago, Jordan, and this just corrects that pricing to the current price, which is $7.50 per meter.
Yes, sir, and from the last year, that's a 50-cent increase.
That's a 50-cent increase. Total number of meters?
2,100 approximately.
2,100. Just as an aside, I will be bringing to this court an agreement with the city of Whitesville. I met with the mayor, and we have agreed that they have 30 meters inside the corporate limits of the city of Whitesville. We are going to test those meters under our contract. The city of Whitesville will be responsible for maintenance, repair, and or replacement of, I said meters, the fire hydrants that are inside the corporate limits. I think there had been some misunderstanding in the past, and the Chief Smith and Mr. Hendricks and I have clarified that up, so I'll be bringing you an agreement with them. Any question or comment? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
D, lease agreement with Western Kentucky University for property at US Highway 231 for the Owensboro campus.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Mr. Hendricks, do you want to talk to us about this?
Certainly, Judge. The original lease with Western Kentucky University expired on its own term, or will expire on its own terms, October 31st of next year. Inside that agreement, if we are going to do anything other than terminate, or we're going to try to extend it, we need to let each other know a year in advance. That was the terms of the agreement. So WKU reps and I began conversations about a month ago. They expressed an interest to renew the lease. Fiscal Court also expressed an interest to renew the lease. I bring you the revised lease agreement, which has been cleaned up for things that no longer apply that were in the first lease. It stipulates which property we're talking about, which is the WKU administration building out on 231. There's some property around that building that had been held for perhaps expansion. Everyone's unsure if there will be expansion, and this clarifies that land. The fiscal court will use that land as it deems appropriate for whatever purposes. And I think there's a few minor changes. The lease fee increased from $70,500 to like $82,000, and a few other minor changes. But other than that, it's basically the same agreement.
Okay. Commissioners, question or comment? If you have any, we have a couple representatives from Western Kentucky University here to answer those. If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for maintaining Western Kentucky's presence here in our community. Next item.
E, Kentucky Emergency Management Assistance Program Non-Supplanting Certification Grant Funds.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. John, are you here to tell us what's going on?
If you want me to.
Well, I don't understand it, so.
Occasionally, at the end of the fiscal year, the Kentucky Emergency Management Agency has additional funds available, and so those funds are made available across the state for special projects. They have certain restrictions and guidelines, and so in previous years, we've applied for and received this grant for replacement of sirens. This particular year, we are requesting a much lower amount, about $6,200, to fund the Citizens Emergency Response Team packages. They used to be funded by a grant from Kentucky Homeland Security. That grant has expired and is no longer available, and so we're looking for another grant source to provide those bags. The CERT program, as you're well aware, is very prolific here in the county and provides a good access for the citizens to contribute back to the community. So we're looking for that. It's a 50-50 grant, so our obligation would be about $3,100.
Okay. Question or comment, commissioners? Public? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
F, award the following bid number 2919, a new all-wheel drive backhoe loader. Bid 3219, 2 new walking floor trailers. 3319, a new front end loader. 3619, 2 new chest compression apparatuses systems. 3719, Panther Creek Park fence system.
Move to approve. Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Jordan, we're going to do like we normally do. If you will go through each one, explain it to us, pause for a second, and I'll ask if there are any questions, okay?
Yes, sir. Bid 29, 2019, we solicited bids for 1 new all-wheel drive backhoe loader for the West Daviess County landfill and received 5 bids ranging from $92,150 to $111,836. We are recommending the best evaluated bid with no exceptions to our specifications submitted by Herb Equipment in the amount of $96,303 for a 2019 John Deere 410L. You will know that there are 2 lower bids. On the evaluation report, these units have exceptions outside of what is acceptable for the equipment's intended use. They are both a class smaller than what was specified and utilize a power shuttle transmission, an exception to our specified transmission type. I recommend approval.
Question or comment from the commission? Question or comment by the public? Let's go to the next item.
32-2019, we solicited bids for 2 new walking floor trailers for the Grimes Avenue Transfer Station and received 4 bids, ranging from a total of $131,222 to $157,000. These prices are net of the trade-in units we will be retiring, which are 2 2011 trailers. We are recommending the best evaluated bid with minor exceptions to the bid specifications submitted by Vomac Truck Sales in the amount of $133,370 for 2 2020 East Unloader trailers. You'll note that we're not recommending the low bid on the evaluation report. This is due to the fact that their tires, wheel hub, and brake assembly package are an exception to our fleet standard. The cost to outfit the low bid appropriately would be more than twice the bid differential. I recommend approval.
Question or comment by the commission? Question or comment by the public? Next item.
33-2019, we solicited bids for 1 new front-end loader for the Grimes Avenue Transfer Station and received 5 bids, ranging from $195,500 to $274,246. These prices are net of our trade-in unit we will be retiring. We are recommending the lowest and best evaluated bid with minor exceptions to the specifications submitted by Bobcat of Evansville in the amount of $195,500 for the 2019 Doosan DL300. I would recommend approval.
Question or comment by the commission? Public? Next item.
36-2019, we solicited bids for 2 new chest compression systems for the Daviess County Fire Department and received 1 bid in the amount of $20,683.42 per unit. We are recommending the only bid submitted, having minor exceptions to the bid specifications submitted by Stryker Sales in the amount of $41,366.84 for 2 2018 Lucas V 3.1 units. It should be noted that $9,547 of that total price is actually a 5-year service agreement for regulatory maintenance and repairs for these units. I would recommend approval.
Question? Yes, Commissioner.
This question is actually to Jenny. Jenny, I don't see anywhere on here the word apparatus.
When it comes
But I
to the
thought I
fire
heard you say
department,
that.
it's a given, apparati or apparatus is included.
I'm sorry.
All right.
It's official.
Good question, Commissioner. Tell me why we only got 1 bid.
There's only one manufacturer that actually creates this particular type of unit. There's several different units that have different strapping devices, and I would say that the chief can speak more to their design types, but the particular model that we're after is the fastest that you can put on an individual to apply even CPR.
Chief, you want to come up? Since you're the fire chief and you deal with this, would you concur with our purchasing agent's statement?
I do. With what we do, with these chest compression machines, it will give us a better chance, of saving an individual. It ups the chance of survival almost 15%. So we're able to apply these very rapidly. We can keep them on during transport, so as we're moving up to a cot, situations like that, we don't have to stop compressions. It continuously keeps pushing on the chest and doing proper compressions at the right depth and rate in which is required.
Okay, thanks. Any other questions? Question or comment by the public? Sean, you can't speak. Nope, sit down. There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Oh, I'm sorry, George, you're right. Next item.
Bid 37-2019, we solicited bids for a qualified vendor to replace the fence drive gates and access gates of fields 1 and 2 at Panther Creek Park for the Daviess County Parks Department. We received 2 bids ranging from $34,498 to $48,440.53. We are recommending the lowest and best evaluated bid, having minor exceptions to the bid specifications submitted by Burkor Fencing in the amount of $34,498. I would recommend approval.
Question or comment by the commission? Public? Jordan, again, why only 2 bids? I would have thought with fencing, you would be able to get
The
quite a
last
few
fencing
bids.
project, we had 4 or 5 participants. The reason being is other projects going on locally. They decided to double up on this. We did have a 3rd participant who pulled their bid for lack of understanding, but outside of that.
The, where is Burkor from, do you know? Northern Kentucky, okay. Any other question or comment? If there are no questions or comments on the 5 bids listed, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
G, hire Pavel Jabot Gilles as a firefighter EMT, effective upon successful completion of pre-employment screenings.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion and second. Would you want to do that again?
I'd be glad to.
Never mind, never mind. Commissioner Caslin, you sat in on the interviews?
I did.
You
And I-
wanna-
And I think we have 2 very good candidates that we are blessed to be able to hire this
Okay.
evening.
Chief, you sat in too?
Yes, sir, Judge. We're very pleased to present these 2 candidates. Both of them are from our volunteer ranks. We've got some of our best firemen from our volunteer ranks, and we're very pleased to present this to the court.
Pavel, stand up. I just wanted everybody to have a look at the person you're going to be voting for or against. We don't know which it might be, but anyway, thank you for submitting your name. And if there's no other question or comment, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Welcome to the crew. Next item.
H, hire Brandon Alvey as a firefighter EMT, effective upon successful completion of pre-employment screenings.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion and second. Brandon? How are you? So you keep, no, you got to keep standing until we either approve you or disapprove you. You got anything you want to say in your defense? Good, that's the proper answer. Any question or comment? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Welcome to the crew, Brandon. Nice to have both of you guys. Thank you. Next item.
I, hire Stephen Zach Crisp as gun club operator for the Parks Department, effective upon successful completion of pre-employment screenings.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion second. Commissioners, as you know, the gun club is now under the auspices of the Parks Department. Ross has been working very closely with everybody trying to get the official opening, which will be October the 5th. Ross just told me that we have 6 events scheduled, unofficial events already prior to the opening. And I'm very pleased to have Mr. Crisp to agree to take on the management of the gun club. I think he may be the key to its success, or Zach, if you're watching, its failure, so you better get to work, boy. Any question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
J, hire Thomas Mullins as a seasonal grounds maintenance employee for the Parks Department, effective upon successful completion of pre-employment screenings.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion and second. Commissioners, Tommy Mullins is an excellent hire, I think. He is actually going to replace the position being taken by the next candidate that we're going to talk about. I appreciate Tommy applying for the job. I think he'll do an excellent job from the interviews. Any question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
K, promote Mark Wagner to a permanent part-time employee position with the Parks Department.
Motion approved. Second.
I have a motion and second. Commissioners, Mark Wagner is a what we call a seasonal grounds maintenance worker now. And he is just moving up a step, so he's going to be a permanent year-round part-time employee. But the best thing about him is he's a retired plumber and pipe fitter. I think the plumbers and pipe fitters are taking over this county government, don't you, Commissioner? So Other than that, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. And you know, before you go any further, I failed to recognize a semi-elected official. For the second time, Ms. Koger, part-time Commissioner Donna Koger is sitting out there, and without her, the real Commissioner Koger wouldn't have made it here this afternoon. And Don, I see fewer bruises on his head this time around. He must be behaving. Well, thank you for carting him around and taking care of him. All right.
L, second reading of KOC 921.675, 2019, 1519, an ordinance amending text in Article 11 of the OMPC zoning ordinance.
Motion approved.
I have a motion and second. Commissioners, this is the second reading. We've had a lot of discussion the night we had the first reading and in between. I think the ordinance does exactly what the constituent asked us to do. Commissioner Koger, you kind of led the charge. I think all of us had a few concerns up here, but I think it's better to go ahead and put the ordinance in place, see how it works for the next year or two, and we can always come back and ask for an amendment to this text amendment. Any question or comment? By the way, Mr. Howard said he would love to come over, but they've been having air conditioning problems at their building.
Well, then he should have come over. We're not having any.
Well, yes, but I didn't want him to get used to this comfort. So if there's no other questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
3, consideration for appointment, A, Nick Hetman to the Owensboro Regional Hospital Board, term 10/31/19 to 10/31/2022.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion and second. Commissioners, Nick Hetman will take the place of Suzanne Northern Blazer. I want to tell Suzanne thank you for her service to the county on this very important board, and I know that Mr. Hetman will do a good job going forward. Any question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
4, consideration for discussion, A, other business to be brought before the Daviess County Fiscal Court. I'm not aware of any.
We almost had some, but we're not going to have any, so next item.
B, public comments.
This is the time during a meeting in which we ask the public, step forward, identify yourself, and you're welcome to speak on any issue other than what was on the agenda tonight. I keep waiting for somebody to get up there. I wish Julius was still here and I'd have him come up, but never mind. Next item.
E, employee anniversary recognitions for the third quarter of 2019.
Boy, we've got a lot of them. In solid waste, we have laborer Jerry Martin, 5 years, laborer Jared Paris, 5 years, laborer Joseph Payne, 5 years, truck driver Pat Bickett, 20 years, senior heavy equipment operator Stephen Ford for 25 years. And under the fire department, engineer Philip Hoskins, 20 years, Chief Jeremy Smith, 20 years. You told me you were a lot younger than that when we interviewed you. All right. Daviess County EMA Administrative Assistant Renetta Sanders. Renetta's celebrating 20 years. Public Works Heavy Equipment Operator Jeff Martin, 5 years. Ray Whistle, 20 years, Heavy Equipment Operator. Also burgoo maker extraordinaire. And Senior Heavy Equipment Operator Tim Cecil, 20 years. So on behalf of all the folks in Daviess County, in our community, and particularly all the elected officials on fiscal court, let me say thank you for your service to fiscal court. Next item.
D, comments by Daviess Fiscal Court.
Commissioner Caslen.
Pass.
Commissioner Wathen.
I just want to mention all the firemen that we have in the house. I appreciate y'all's loyalty to each other. I know each time we hire someone or promotion, I know y'all show up, and I appreciate your loyalty to each other. I just wanted to mention that. So thank you.
Anything else?
Nope.
Commissioner Koger, you've been away. You ought to be able to talk to us for 30 minutes.
Total knee surgery is not a lot of fun. So other than that, I wanted to make it here tonight. Second day on the walking canes. So, but this is where I wanted to be. And thank you, and thank you all for calling and checking on me, making sure I'm still around.
Well, actually, we were calling and checking on Donna, not you. Just wanted I just wanted to lay that out there. I really don't have anything other than Chief Smith and I had a conversation Monday, I think. I know I'd been asked by several of the folks in our agricultural community about a burn ban. Typically, we go to the Division of Forestry and kind of follow their guidelines, and we also use some of the incidents that we're responding to, and I think the chief told me we didn't really see a significant increase yet. I would suspect that if we don't get any rain this week, that next week we're going to be looking at having to institute the burn ban. It's getting pretty crispy out there. When you walk across your lawn and you hear it crunching under your feet, you know that it's pretty bad. I had one other thing, and I can't remember it. When I got to talking about crispy, it reminded me of chicken, and I'm hungry. I haven't had supper tonight. The Taste of Owensboro, speaking of food, Taste of Owensboro is the last Monday of September. Last Monday of September. You can buy tickets. If you don't have your tickets already, you can buy tickets at the door. All that money goes to support the operation of the River Park Center. Air show, wonderful air show. I've had nothing but people singing its praises. I want to thank the city of Owensboro for putting the air show on, making it available to all of our citizens. In the spirit of being healthy, I rode my bike from my house, which is out on the southeast end of town, all the way downtown and all the way back. And about 2 miles from the house, I was thinking, man, I wish I was in an airplane, because I was wore out. If there's no other business to be brought before Daviess County Fiscal Court without exception, we're adjourned.